as a legitimate soccer nation. Welcome in. It's the Cake Show edition of Bumper to Bumper. Gaardsy in today. Brett Blakemore here as well. Pierre Noujaim from Fox 9 Sports is going to join in about 30 minutes. Mike Trudell from Lakers.com and a bunch of other things out in L.A. to talk World Cup and LeBron at 4:30. And Johnny Athletic, the Monday regular, will join at 5:30. The Bradshaw and Bryan KFAN text line, as always, is 64686. You can hit it early and often. Might take some talkbacks today, so we'll dust that off 3 to 6:30. And you can always tweet me at Gaardsy as well. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. If you were in the metro area and you didn't get rained out, congratulations. I was in Wisconsin. Oh, good for me. And it was nothing but sunny skies and fireworks as far as the eye could see. Sounds like some cities and some towns here in the metro had some issues. My hometown of Edina, according to Greg Swedberg, couldn't do the fireworks because someone left them outside and it rained and they got too wet. Seems like an own goal. I don't even know if it's true, but if Swedberg tweets it, I believe it. Welcome in. Good to be here. Have we arrived as a soccer nation? Does it have anything to do with tonight's match, 7 o'clock in Seattle against Belgium, with a trip to the quarterfinals on the line? The winner of this match takes on Portugal and Spain. And if the U.S. wins, they advance farther than they have in like 20 years, and only for the second time. And we've never done anything remotely close to what we've done so far this World Cup in terms of match wins in the group play, maybe advancing to the quarters, the whole deal. It has nothing to do with any of that, Brett. The fact that we are on the right side of a controversial FIFA decision, doesn't that strike you as a longtime suffering United States men's national team soccer fan? Doesn't that seem to you to be the signal that we have officially arrived as a legit soccer force, that we are now the bad guys? We are now the evil empire. We are taking the slings and arrows from everybody. And if you've missed it, the red card has been rescinded or suspended is what they said. So I don't know if my new guy, Flo, good vibe with him, Balogun, I don't know if at some point he's going to have to sit out an international match because of the red card that he got in the last round. But everybody's mad about this except Americans. And there's even some Americans who are mad about it that don't love fair play. But I feel like this is a sign we have finally arrived. Belgium is bitter. They didn't technically file an appeal, but they wanted some clarification. So then FIFA opened up an appeal. The appeal was denied. He's going to play. It was a shocking turn of events. As like a lot of Minnesota sports fans, I was refreshing Johnny Athletic's Twitter handle every 5 minutes to see if we could get a LeBron James update. More on that as the show goes along, including even in the next segment. But it's just funny to me that we have arrived now, I feel like. And there are two camps. Well, there's actually three. And maybe you could add a couple more, because I know, Brett Blakemore, you were on the air for worst case scenario when all of this went down, as the rest of us were minding our own business, trying to find what's going on with LeBron. And we get the word that Balogun is in. He will play tonight against Belgium. The one camp is, this is wrong. This is terrible. Here goes FIFA again, just making it up as they go along. One call from President Trump. What award did he win? The FIFA Medal of Freedom?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
the
like
Peace
that.
Medal of Scholarly Freedom.
President Trump, which, by the way, good for the president. If this is how the game is played, if this is how we roll in the World Cup, the crown jewel of this sport, if all it takes is a couple of phone calls and a little bit of pressure to say, the host nation needs all their guys. Feel like we've been a pretty good host. People are coming in from all over the world. They seem to like what America's about right now. They're having fun with our unlimited refills and Costco sizes. Everybody's, strangers are picking up strangers to give them rides back from matches in Foxborough. Like, everything seems to be going well. Good on the president to say, are you going to take a look at this? Because you can, even though we were told a couple of days ago, and you had told us there's really not a formal appeals process. There's one bylaw that basically says FIFA can do whatever it wants. If FIFA decides that they want to make a change, despite all the different committees and everything else, FIFA can just say, yeah, you're right, we're going to do it different. We're going to make a change. And that's what they did. So there are people that are in the camp of, this is wrong, this is terrible. Here's FIFA at it again, the most corrupt organization in the history of sports, again, exposing its corruption. Then there's the camp that says, well, this is righting a wrong. This isn't wrong. This is righting the wrong that was the red card in the first place. I think I know which one I think I know which way you're going to lean, and I'll let you respond in a second. This never should have been a red card. they use the wrong VAR protocols. You're not supposed to do slow motion. It's too punitive anyway, which I actually agree with, and it's something I want to talk to Pierre about, who's a big soccer guy, and Mike Trudell, who's a former college soccer player as well, that it seemed to me that if you're going to sit a guy, not only for the rest of that match, which happened again last night with England and Mexico, right? England was down to 10. I'm so locked in. If you're going to sit a guy, and then he's going to have to sit out another match, like, there should be very little gray area. There should be very little. If it's going to be that punitive and the bleeping World Cup, where the next one's not until 2030, like, there shouldn't be a lot of debate. And there was so much debate to me about that red card. So there's those people that are saying this is just correcting what was an incorrect decision. And I think it is righting a wrong, and I still think it's probably wrong. I think it's the worst of all worlds. And by the way, I'm not losing any sleep over it. I don't, like, there are some people have actually written that whatever happens now, the U.S., they're in a no-win situation, because if they win tonight against Belgium, this win will forever be tainted by the corruption that is FIFA. Like, does anybody care about that, in all honesty? Like, I don't. Maybe I have no morals. Maybe I've lost the high ground, but given that this is apparently how the game is played at this level, that different decisions can be made for various times for really no reason whatsoever other than that's the way the wind blew and that's what FIFA decided. I think if I'm Belgium, I'm absolutely annoyed. I'm completely bitter. If this flipped, I mean, just think about it. When Jamal Murray, think about this, Dan, to do Sam Mitchell. Think about this. Jamal Murray throws a heat pack, Dan, gets no suspension. We were all pissed about that, right? Should have been suspended. Everybody knew he wasn't going to be suspended, but we were annoyed. Wembanyama probably could have been gassed for another game after he threw the vicious elbow at now Charlotte Hornet Naz Reid.
And that was intentional.
And that was very intentional. But he didn't get the suspension. And what were Wolves fans? We were annoyed, right? That he could just come back. And even more so, that he came back as like this sympathetic hero, according to the NBC broadcast crew, like overcoming this adversity that was literally 100% self-inflicted. So I get it. I get the bitterness. I'm fine with him playing. I thought it was a joke. That I don't like the whole red card concept. I know you got to protect people, and I know there's got to be a player safety part of it. And I know I can't even call myself a casual soccer fan, as you know very well. I'm a complete newbie, but I'm just thinking about it in my head that something can be that punitive, that can be that hotly debated, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I know they've played this game for centuries, and I've literally just learned about it and have actually taken the time to care about it. And that's what I think has been fun about this World Cup, is we all have hot takes now, even though we can't even name 5 players on the team. So that's to me, the silver lining of this whole thing, is that I think we can call ourselves a legitimate soccer country now, because most of the commentary that isn't coming from America is outraged by this. This would only happen if we weren't the host country. It wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't have happened if President Trump didn't make a call. This is a joke. You can find it online if you really, you don't even have to look that hard, but I feel like we finally arrived. Congratulations, Brett. I know it's been a long time coming for you and all your fans.
I mean, I think to answer your question, if we've arrived as a soccer country, the biggest sign is that Justin Guard went 7 minutes straight to open the show talking about soccer.
Monologue.
I think that is as good as it possibly.
Pretty much off the top of my head, too.
Yeah.
This is all institutional knowledge now after the last 3 weeks.
It's fantastic. Yeah, shocking. I'm in the second camp. Now, the way that it happened is question. Here's what I know. Here's what I've read. And if new information comes out, I'll change my opinion accordingly. But here's what FIFA says, that, they received a call from the president, but it was out of their hands because there's some mysterious independent committee that wasn't even influenced by them at all, who are already looking at it, who are saying, it's probably not a red card. Now, everything I like, when this red card happened and then the overturn, there's a lot of doom scrolling in the Blakemore household.
I believe that.
There was a lot of, I want to hear everyone's reactions. And pretty much everyone that was not of Bosnian descent said, probably not a red card. Or the English people would say it was a bit harsh.
Bruce Arena, is that his name?
Well, he's a person.
Bruce Arena?
Yeah.
He's our old coach, right? He says easy red card. He said no problem. Is that former coach bitterness?
No, could be. I think that's wrong.
Manny Lagos, I think, said we kicked it around the room, and we weren't really sure.
Everyone on the broadcast, including Thierry Henry and Zlatan saying it was not a red card.
Yeah.
So, and he wasn't even looking at the there was nothing in it for me. I didn't think it was a red. I think it was a yellow. It's one of those unfortunate, but they came together. It wasn't a sliding tackle that was risky going into it. They go, uh-oh.
Like
we saw last night.
Yeah, like last night's.
It was nothing like that. So that was more of a red card to me. So the point is that most people are not, unless you're of your Bosnian descent or Belgian descent, most people are not mad that it got overturned because it probably wasn't a red. It was the way of which that it happened because the president got involved. From what I've read is that the president, while he did call Infantino, I think his name is, the head of FIFA, there was already the independent on their own committee who were already reviewing it anyways and then pushed it through that it probably wasn't a red card. It didn't deserve the suspension. So, and guess what? We're watching the TV right now, Spain, Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo, same thing before the tournament started. He had a red card and they suspended it because he's Ronaldo. So I don't think the president's call actually, I don't know. I'll change my opinion if said new information comes out. From what I understand, that's not what made it happen, and the committee was already doing it anyway.
How do we feel as Rubes? Hit the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line 64686. Has a wrong been righted? Is this wrong? Do we feel vindicated as a soccer nation? Should we feel guilty tonight, as some have suggested, watching our brave young men out on the pitch at Lumen Field in Seattle, low clouds? Hit the talk back as well. We'll try to service those as the afternoon goes along. Hit the text line. You can tweet me at Gaardsy as well. At the bottom of the hour, my buddy Pierre Noujaim from Fox 9 Sports is going to join for a while. We'll get to some Pierre's problems, as well as talk about the soccer match tonight against Belgium as a great soccer mind. Mike Trudell at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour, and Johnny Athletic with the latest on LeBron at 5:30. When we come back, though, we will pivot to LeBron. The lost weekend that was LeBron. Another 4th of July. Speaking of doom scrolling, looking at a lake, looking at your phone, what's LeBron going to do? Is it going to be a gut punch? We discuss all of it when we come back.
Justin Guard in for Barreiro.
KFAN, sports updates, ticket giveaways, show highlights, and more. You can follow KFAN 1003 on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube, and all of our social channels. Follow us and stay connected to the sports leader, The Fan.
Growing up, to me, the 4th of July, Brett Blakemore, it used to be about cabins and family, fireworks and parades, reflection, decompressing, road trips. You've been all over, right? Northern Minnesota, Wisconsin. I didn't go one time. My family went to Mount Rushmore for some fireworks, which I can't imagine a better scene than Mount Rushmore. I know the Creasels just spent a whole week in Deadwood, South Dakota. Good for them. Must be nice to be rich. We're happy for you, John. Great speaker, by the way. I had John Creasel speak in his early days as a public speaker to the high school basketball team I was coaching. It was unbelievable. So whatever people are paying to have John Creasel come and speak, it's money well spent.
I can see the meat sauce gif of someone jumping in the money as we
Donald Duck, Donald Duck counting his money, the diving board going into money. And you have so many good memories, at least I do, and I think most of us do. A lot of us do, about just the 4th of July traditions and what they mean. And this was obviously a really big one. It's our 250th anniversary as a country, 1776. We've seen all of those deals all over town. Everybody's trying to, do their best pun around our independence from Britain. And something happened the last decade or so. I'm not saying all that stuff is out the window for the 4th of July. It's still kind of there. But for me, and I don't know how others feel, and I'd love some feedback on this, 4th of July has essentially become, I'm just going to stare at my phone and see where LeBron James is going. Oh, the Wolves made a trade for Rudy Gobert? I'm going to listen to every single podcast and read every think piece about that in the next 72 hours because I've got to get my fix. I've got to figure it out. Maybe it all started 12 years ago. Or was it? No, it was 14 years ago when Parisi and Suter,
the Skatriots,
landed in Minneapolis. And we've told the story a number of times. We talked about it last week. That I was on my way out to Excelsior with my family. I was probably listening to the fans. Somebody broke in or something happened. Maybe it was a tweet that Zach Parisi and Ryan Suter were coming to Minnesota. And I looked at my family. My parents were with me. My wife was with me and said, we better make this a quick lunch because we got to go to work. That was 4th of July. That's 4th of July for me now. I even texted Johnny Athletic, who, again, himself was trying to enjoy a 4th of July holiday in northern Minnesota with his family, watching his son and one of his son's friends do what kids do in the lake. But all the while, checking in on what's happening, in this case, with LeBron James. It's, to me, the new 4th of July tradition. If you want to expand it out, I was waiting for Dylan Larkin rumors. I was looking for Dylan Larkin's team. There's no such thing as a holiday moratorium now, unless the principals involved say that. And I listened to a podcast today, the Rich Paul Max Kellerman podcast, Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, that dropped a little bit earlier this morning. And Rich Paul basically said, I let LeBron have the 4th of July week. I didn't even bother. I didn't even talk to him. Again, is that true? Is it not? Who knows? But that's what it was for me. And I even told Johnny Athletic, I said, I'm getting your updates from my brothers-in-law as we're all here as a family trying to enjoy the 4th of July holiday. But I don't know if it's a good edition or a bad edition, but to me, Brett, it feels different than the simpler times of 4th of Julys of my youth.
So what you're saying is the NFL gave us back our August, but the NHL and the NBA took away our July.
Free agency.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And I'll raise my hand. I'm guilty. My son said this the other day. I don't know if it was after the Jaylen Brown trade or the LaMelo trade, whatever it was. He said, this is kind of as fun as the season. I said, buddy, this is better than the season. I think than the regular season. This stuff to me is more fun. Who's going here? Which trade is happening? What's this package going to be? Does Johnny like that package? Is this free agent going to go somewhere? I've always loved it. And it's gotten a little weird. It's got a little different with the second apron making trades in some ways more complicated, in some ways underwhelming. I think we've had both of those examples here in the last week. But yeah, I watched the whiteboard video, the now infamous Rich Paul, Max Kellerman whiteboard video. I watched it. I listened to the whole podcast. I got the breakdowns of, I think there were 10 teams that Rich Paul listed on the whiteboard. And if you did enjoy your 4th of July and were completely unplugged and you missed exactly what we're talking about, at some point, I think it was Friday on the 4th, maybe it was the 3rd on Thursday, or vice versa. The 2nd was Thursday. Friday was the 3rd. Rich Paul, allegedly, this is his claim, brought in the whiteboard from his office with the breakdowns of all the teams that are LeBron James is considering. The 76ers, the Cavaliers, the Heat, the Nuggets, the Warriors, and your Minnesota Timberwolves.
That is a nice package.
And I got to give Max Kellerman credit, even though he talks too much as the host of a podcast, and maybe I'm doing that right now. And when Nuge gets in here, maybe I'll talk over him. But Rich Paul's giving you all the details. I don't care what you think about any of them. I want you to ask the questions and let Rich Paul give as many secrets as he's willing to give. But I'm fascinated by how this is going to end, because what does history tell us, Brett? Does history tell us that LeBron James is going to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves next year?
No.
No, it does not.
No.
And I don't know what the percentage is, 10 or 15%, but for every, and friends of mine have texted me about this, for every single story that has been written, Johnny Athletic, one of them, Sam Quinn, CBS Sports, that's making the rounds now on Wolves Twitter, of someone saying, LeBron could go back to Cleveland and put a nice bow on his career. He could go to Miami and do that whole thing again. But he should go to Minnesota. The more that's happening, the more hopeful we're all getting. Yet we all know where this is going to go. At this point, I'm just hoping he doesn't go to Denver. That's the one that would just crush me. I can deal with Philly. I can deal with the Cavs. I can deal with Miami. I can deal with the Warriors. I like the Steph angle. Obviously, if he comes here, I might take my shirt off like Max.
Yeah, shut it down if he comes here.
That's a reason not to. Hopefully Rich Paul didn't hear it. But if he goes to Denver, I mean, that's just going to be devastating. But doesn't it feel like that? Like, because I'm sure you can feel it. You know, all of us. Everybody's antenna's up about this. Everybody's fired up about this possibility. And the longer it goes, and the more people say, you know where he should go? Minnesota. Because it's just occurring to people that this is actually a really good fit for a million different reasons. On the court, off the court, mentoring, position of need, power forward. Give us 40 games and stay home in December. We don't care. Come here for the playoffs and help Ant and LaMelo. It's going to be just a gut punch because people have been given just enough hope that it can actually happen. I
mean, I watched the Max Kellerman clip of basically he's saying that's where they should go. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
That's the most interesting one. And it's probably the best basketball one. Like, yeah, he could fit in, and he can fit in anywhere. It's not a Shohei Ohtani situation. He can go anywhere he wants. It just makes so much basketball sense. And I don't know if and then you get the Johnny, they're ramping up.
Yeah, their pressure.
Their push.
And their pitch is good. Come do something that no one's ever done. You want to end the GOAT debate? Come to Minnesota, where we have like 3 banners, and none of them have to do with winning. On the Wolves side. Lynx side is chock full.
Yeah.
There's championships and Hall of Famers. Yeah, they need smaller banners to fit more. But that's their pitch, right? And you're right. They're ramping up. That was the one that got everybody going. Mm-hmm. That's what I woke up to in Neshkoro, Wisconsin, with my brothers-in-law saying, did you see Johnny's piece? They're ramping up. And I'm, sleeping on a couch, looking for my coffee. No spotted cows because I'm not a sheep. I don't just drink that because I'm over in Wisconsin, Kevin Fulness. But that's what we did for the next 36 hours, just kick around LeBron content and go, is this going to happen? It's going to be bad when it doesn't happen, man. If it happens, it's going to be unbelievable. But when it doesn't happen, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. We'll ask the News what he thinks about that. But I want to get back to the soccer conversation with one of the 3 people in my life that actually follows the game. I'm basically talking to all of them today. Brett Blakemore, Mike Trudell, and Pierre Noujaim, my buddy from Fox 9 Sports, who's about to be a father. That might come up in the conversation as well. He hangs with me for a while after this.
One night, one stage, one epic band. My Chemical Romance at Target Field, August 24th. You can grab your tickets before they're gone. All the details today, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Cake Show edition of Bumper to Bumper. Gaardsy in for Barreiro today. Mike Trudell from Lakers.com. Great soccer mind. Great LeBron mind. Great Lonzo Ball mind. So maybe we'll get some Ball family steam and speculation from Trudell in about an hour. And, of course, Johnny Athletic makes his weekly appearance at 5:30. Brett Blakemore's here, top 5 at 5. We've got it all. And I got him on the calendar, thank God, because at any given moment, and I'm hoping it happens in the next hour, his beloved wife may go into labor and welcome their first child into the world. He's Pierre Noujaim from Fox 9 Sports. Hi, Pierre.
Great to be back. Thank you for having me, buddy.
Are we that much on the clock?
The due date is July 20th. I was told by the doctor we're not going to make it to that date. It's going to happen before then, so it really could happen at any moment. I don't know if it'll happen within the next hour. That would make for quite a story.
Yeah.
But it's if it's not by the end of this week, it's going to be next week, I think.
Where's your phone? Is your phone out?
It's in my back pocket.
Oh, no, you can't do that. You got to have your phone out.
I didn't want it buzzing.
Yeah. Oh, it's fine. That's fine. No
I'll put
big
it over here.
It's July. We're good. It's July. There's no big Vikings game to talk about.
That's true.
There is a big World Cup match tonight.
Yeah.
And you're like Brett. Brett was joking with me before the show. I used to, when we would do shows, I would give him, and this isn't like a clever bit or even a new bit, because I think Dan Patrick does it too. I'd give him 60 seconds for soccer.
Okay.
Like during the top 5 and 5. We were talking about the Wolves, the Wild, the Twins, the Vikings, the Lynx, whatever. And I'd say, all right, Brett, you got 60 seconds for soccer. And most of the time we'd cut you off even before that, right, Brett?
Yeah.
So you'd have the timer, and
it was mostly USA related.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that I think had to be the stipulation. Like we don't need UEFA.
Sure.
All right. We don't need the champions.
You don't need the Tottenham update.
We don't need any of that. So I guess what has it been like that you're one of the cool kids now? You can go around because you are you bought the soccer IPO. Like you're like a Bill Gates of this stock.
I'm selling high.
What's that like for you as a guy who played the game? I think still plays every once in a while, right?
I was playing last year, and then I played for almost a full year, and then I realized I'm over 40 years old now, and these kids are running circles around me. So I gave that up. But I think I've been telling people left and right, I think this tournament has been an absolute home run.
Yeah.
Not just for the game in this country, but for the country itself. I think you even commented or said something to me about the two Scottish guys I bumped into a couple of weeks ago we were out at PV Plaza, and these two Scottish guys just come up to me, start talking. I turned to our camera guy, Jared. I said, Jared, give me the microphone right now. We have to interview these guys. This is too good. And they're going on and on about their travels in the United States and how they haven't had to pay for a single drink the entire time, and how much they've absolutely loved the experience. I think everybody has been eating those stories up left and right since the tournament has started. I think everything has been absolutely fabulous, and I would even include today's news in that. This is not going to bring me down.
Right.
This is not going to bring me down. It's not.
Why would it?
Why exactly? Why would it?
So, do you think? Well, here, in my opinion, I'm assuming this is right. For me personally, it all changed in the first half of the Paraguay game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Paraguay match.
Yes.
Because the whole buildup and we would talk about it on Enough Said, and I'm kind of bored with it. And I'm like, well, every story I read is it's going to cost $5,000 just to take the train from New York to MetLife.
Right.
Bots have bought all the tickets. FIFA's completely mangled this, like they've mangled everything. It's another greed situation where the common person's getting priced out of all of this. I haven't heard one story about all of that. Now, there's been some SeatGeek issues or StubHub issues with people not being able to get the tickets that are fulfilled.
Right.
But the fact that I watched that, so I'm watching it out of patriotic and work duty that Friday night against Paraguay.
Good enough for me.
And I'm like, holy hell.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening here? These dudes, this is different. I don't know if it's going to last a match or not, but I remember waking up on that Saturday and being like, it's got to be just so fulfilling for soccer fans to have had that experience, and now you're in it. Now let's see where this thing goes, and they haven't stopped.
It's funny that you say that, and I'm curious to know what Brett thinks about this as well. But I remember when they unveiled the roster, I thought to myself, okay, like this team will probably be fine. It'll get out of the group stage, and if they do anything after that, fine, whatever. I don't really expect them to compete at a super high level. I wasn't overly optimistic about the roster when I saw it initially, but you said it perfectly. In that first half against Paraguay, I had the exact same reaction as you. I thought to myself, whoa, I was not expecting this against a team like Paraguay. You saw what they did to France the other day. Actually, you probably didn't see what they did to France the other day.
No, I've heard people talk about it.
but they're a team that tries to bottle you up, and they're more than happy to play the 0-0 game or try to sneak a goal and win you 1-0, maybe even go to penalties. And the USA completely dismantled them in that first half, which was very surprising. And you go back to Paraguay's games since then, they looked nothing like that game against the United States. So I think it's been absolutely tremendous. And, I tread lightly here. I really don't try to make anything political. But one thing in my mind that I always thought was funny whenever I would hear President Trump tell people we're the hottest country in the world right now, in my mind, I was like, that sounds great. That's cool. I live in this country. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I don't know exactly how you measure that. But if I had to bottle it up and paint a picture of maybe what he's trying to mean, in the last couple of weeks during the World Cup, I kind of feel like it looks like this. Like this makes us the hottest country in the world with everybody enjoying it out here. And please don't call Fox 9. I'm not endorsing anybody for political office. But that's just one of the things that popped in my head with seeing how much fun everybody has had here in the country for the tournament.
Well, this isn't controversial. Sports are a uniter.
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
You see the scene of whatever match it must have been the Bosnia match.
Yeah.
After, just the amount of people that all look different, of all different ages, that all know country roads now. That's become our thing. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, great.
Real quick. Good song, right? Never thought I'd be heave crying by myself to country roads, but I was. But sports are the uniter, and we've covered sports forever, and that's always my favorite part when like a team, like the Gopher women's basketball team, like when Williams Arena had 11,000 people in there and the place was crazy, or Gopher football when they have big wins, Timberwolves, I love just looking around and seeing everybody happy.
Yes.
And that's what it feels like with this World Cup team. Now, when the World Cup is over, I'm sure we'll all go back to hating each other again, which
Probably.
sucks. But that's what it does show you what's possible when you can find something to unite around.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we saw that I think I heard you mention actually on the drive in here, there was a story out in New England about a German soccer fan who was given a ride from the stadium, didn't have a ride.
He was just walking along the street apparently, and someone said, "Where are you going?"
And
he started crying.
He's in tears.
Yeah.
He's in tears by the hospitality and the generosity of other people. I think it's made for a great story. And, as far as today's news goes, listen, This is obviously it's unprecedented. Obviously, Belgium absolutely has a gripe. There's no question about it in my mind, and the fact that their appeal was dismissed so quickly surprised me a little bit as well. But if I had one individual come up to me and say this is now tainted for me, and I said, why?
I know
why.
Yeah,
the team didn't do anything. Now I think Brett said it perfectly. I don't know how much the president's phone call really has to do with how much sway he really has. Now, I also thought it was funny hearing him talk about how, he is so knowledgeable about sports, but then 2 seconds later he said, I didn't even know, you could be suspended for the red card.
Yeah. I'm not putting, I'm glad the president called. That's probably what you should do. I don't really think it had a whole lot to do with it.
I don't think so either. And so when I see people online who put these words by their name saying, I'm now actively rooting against the United States. Just 2 days ago, when you were probably a person that agreed that red card was delivered poorly. It was a wrong decision. Everybody was absolutely in unison thinking it was an improper delivery of a red card.
Right.
But today, because Trump's name is attached to it now, you're actively rooting for the team to lose. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
They love to be miserable.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
My thing, too, that I was just thinking about is, let's say the roles were reversed. Let's say it was a Doku who plays for Belgium, probably their best player.
Right.
If that happened, would I be annoyed? Yeah. But I would say if we can't beat Belgium at full strength, then we don't deserve to go any further.
Yeah, and I think
that's the reality. So them getting all mad about it and sending in 16 different statements about it just goes to show that, they're really upset.
It's what Dan says. Yeah. It depends on whose ox is being gored.
Correct.
I mean, you say that in the comfort of Control Room B right now, you'd be so heated up. You'd be so mad. You'd be so annoyed. Who's the guy? Jamie Benn. He wasn't suspended. I'm sure you were pissed about that, right? In the Minnesota Wild game, in the Minnesota Wild series. Is that the right guy?
Yeah. Guess what? We beat him.
Well, I know, but I'm sure you were a little hot. I'm sure you were a little hot that, he didn't even get fined or whatever going back 2 months ago. All right, so as a fan of the game, because we've been waiting for this, the '94 World Cup. Do you remember that?
Of course,
okay,
I do.
I remember nothing about it. Not surprising. Didn't really care.
I do remember a decent amount of things. I was a little tyke back then, but I do remember a lot of it. Yes.
So the theory back then was this is going to be the thing. That brings soccer to the forefront of the U.S. And I was just listening to Bill Simmons on my way in today, and he said, and we said that for the next 25 years. Yeah. We waited for that.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm being prisoner of the moment, Nuge, but I feel like this run really could be, not that it's going to overtake football, the American football, but I feel like it could be more of a thing. Is that too romantic? Am I making too much of this moment?
I don't think so. I look at it with cautious optimism, I guess, and the reason why I say that, I just had this conversation with Manny Lagos just the other day. I said to him, when I was 10, I was told nonstop that just wait 30 years, the United States is going to absolutely dominate the world in soccer. Just wait 30 years.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I was pessimistic on this year's squad when I saw the roster. I was like, I don't feel like this year's roster is any different or any better than what I had seen in previous years. So why does it feel like the growth talent in this country has flatlined in the sport when I've been told constantly that we're just going to keep getting better and better and better? I don't know if it'll, obviously, yes, it won't overtake football. It won't overtake basketball, in my opinion. I do think that, is it still the number one youth sport played? I think it is up to, if it's not number one, so. It's close to number one of the youth sport played in America.
Because everybody starts and you go out and you play soccer for a little bit.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So a deep run will only catapult it even further. I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where this team or this country will win a World Cup, maybe long after I'm gone. But I'm with you that I do think a decent run, at least a run if they win tonight, getting yourself to the quarterfinal is something to be proud of. It's absolutely something to be proud of. So I would say, yes, this would go a long way towards growing the sport even more.
What do you think has kept it from being more popular?
I think there's a lot. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I think it's just a lot of the old guard. I think a lot of people around this country didn't grow up with the game. I think that when you have a lot of people from around the country who are first generation American, like me, who grew up with parents who that the game was their life. And I think you're having a little bit more of that because people who immigrate to this country, they bring soccer with them. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world outside of the United States. So why wouldn't I believe that they would bring that passion with them here to the States and pass that along to their children? So I think that's also a growing area where the game is starting to become more popular. I think it's just a little bit of, hey, we grew up with baseball and football, right. and that's fine. And I love those sports too. Like this doesn't have to be an either or for me. But I think that's kind of the area where I think you're starting to see the growth of soccer a little bit.
This is Pierre Noujaim from Fox 9 Sports. He's hanging out in studio with me. I'm Gaardsy in for Barreiro today. Brett Blakemore here as well. Mike Trudell is going to join at 4:30 to talk a little bit more World Cup, but also some LeBron stuff. As a guy who's covered LeBron for his entire NBA career, certainly his time in Los Angeles. So I gleaned from your comments, and we haven't spoken, that you thought the red card initially was a bad call.
I do. Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
How come?
I would say, and this I think is where the conversation comes in with VAR. It's not really meant to be viewed at in like slow motion like that. That's not. So
how does that happen? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah,
when that protocol, like in the World Cup, and sorry to interrupt you, but everybody said, well, you're not supposed to use slow motion. So how is that even available?
Well, whenever there's a red card issued, you have to be able to really prove malicious intent or a reckless challenge. And to me, when you looked at this challenge, this was two guys going at it at the same time. And a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, if two guys bump off each other on a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, that's no foul. That's a no foul call. It wasn't exactly a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, but the Bosnian defender comes up behind Balogun, so there's no way he could even know that he was about to be pressed up on him. So to assume that he has the presence of mind to wrap his cleat around the back of that guy's calf to rake his calf with his studs is ludicrous to me. I heard Brett say it. He probably would have issued him a yellow card. I don't even know if I would have even gone that far, to be honest, because it's such a bang-bang play. It's not like the play we saw last night with England where his studs were completely high.
Right.
I know he hit the ball and that kind of changed the trajectory of where his leg landed, but even if he doesn't land on the ball, the way his leg was trajecting and his studs being up high, it would have gone right to the middle of that guy's shin. That's a reckless challenge. I would give a red card for that every single day. So I do think it was the wrong call on the field. I do think it was a wrong review. So that's why I don't feel all that bad about the decision today.
Right. What is crazy to me as an outsider is that something that can be so debatable is that punitive. And that especially, I know it shouldn't technically matter that the World Cup's only every 4 years, but it's only every 4 years.
Yeah.
Like you can definitively have something on the books that says, oh, by the way, if you get this red, not only are you out and your team has to grind, which was awesome that they figured it out. England did the same thing last night, but that, oh, you're also out for the next game. Like these dudes have worked for literally this tournament since they were basically your unborn child's age, right? Like a lot of them have come out of the womb ready to go, and they've been thinking about this, and something that can be that hotly debated, to me, is insane.
Yeah.
Will it always be like that? Is there any movement to change something like that?
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think the rule needs to be changed. I'm being totally honest. I think if you're issued, this is the only tweak I may make. If you're issued a straight red, I think you should be suspended for the next match. If it's 2 yellow cards, then I might think about it differently. I could think about it differently in terms of you being suspended for the next match. But if you get a straight red, I don't have an issue with the rule. I really don't. It just has to be applied consistently, obviously.
Right.
So I don't really have an issue with the rule. I don't.
So, yeah, that's the other thing I love about it is that there's a bylaw that basically says FIFA can just decide. Like, there's no process. Because
they're making up as they go along.
It was doom and gloom for however many hours immediately after.
48, 72.
Because originally I was like, how do they not have some type of appeal for this?
And this is where FIFA has brought it upon itself.
And they kind of do. And then, but this one just appears like, yeah, if FIFA decides they'd like to make a change, then they're going to make a change. And that's what we are. And I feel no guilt about it. I'm not passionate about it either way. It's certainly I'm not going to feel guilty tonight watching it. I do think I understand why everybody's annoyed that might not be wearing red, white, and blue glasses. And I'm sure there is some truth to if it wasn't the host country and if they didn't feel like it was poorly administered on the field. But it just seemed I guess it's funny to learn stuff that you guys have all known for a really long time. Like, this is all old news to you. Like, most of us are like, this is what they do, really? They can just decide and all this stuff just gets adjudicated this way?
And the U.S. is probably playing Spain in the next round.
I was going to say,
turned my head for a second.
Yeah, 1-0.
Listen, and this is a situation, too, where, Gaardsy, I think everybody here has a point. And every side of this argument, I think, has a point and a fair point. And I will absolutely acknowledge that. Now, let's forget about it. Let's go out there and kick their butts.
And let's talk about that for a couple minutes here before we pause. Give us, and Brett, jump in here too, give us the soccer breakdown of what needs to happen tonight. Who is Belgium? What's important about Belgium? What's important for the U.S. tonight?
Well, I'll say it real quick so I can let Brett jump in here. Well, one thing I will say about Belgium is they're a team that around the world over the last 8 years or so, they've been a contender. This year, they have been, in my opinion, one of the more disappointing teams. Even though they have reached this stage, if you go back to their opening game against Egypt, they should have lost that game. They tied Iran. They beat up on New Zealand, who was one of the worst teams in this tournament. So I'm not really overly impressed by that. Yes, I'm going to say I was impressed by them being able to come back late the way they did against Senegal. That's great. Power to them. But even without Flo Balogun in the lineup, going against this Belgian team that is aging, by the way, I still think the U.S. should have been favored. And they are favored. I still think they should have been favored if Balogun wasn't eligible to play in this game. So whether he starts or whether he comes off the bench, I'm of the belief that the United States should win this game regardless.
I do mostly agree. It's a battle of what have you done for me lately and pedigree. Because 3 months ago, the U.S. played Belgium in kind of in a friendly,
that's right,
getting ready for the run, and Belgium trounced us. It was 5-2. It was not good. Now the Jersey matchup was horrible. You couldn't tell who was who. It was like white versus kind of white. It made no sense at all. So they're not doing that today. The Fan has learned. Which, by the way, this game on the Fan tonight.
Good
pregame
plug.
6:30.
Yep, good plug.
You can listen to it right here. To me, it's being more organized in defense, not being as leaky, and possessing the game. When they're at their best, they're controlling the game. They're deciding. They have the possession. And they're running into space and creating, where when they're at their worst is when they're trying to defend and trying to just hang on for their lives, which it worked out against Bosnia, but it's not going to work out against, Doku is class. De Bruyne is on the back nine, but he's still very good. So I think they can win. I think they would have still been favored without Balogun, but it's a huge boost that we have.
No mention of Lukaku?
Oh, he's bag of the
Are you guys messing with me right now with these names?
He's still producing. He's still producing, though.
That's true.
Is class soccer code for good?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be, yes.
Do you have to say it that way?
You do.
I don't know.
Like the kids would say he's gas.
Yeah,
is that what they say?
That's what they say. That's what my...
is that what I'm going to find out here in a little bit?
Who knows what your kid's going to say. My godson was telling us everything that was gas, so we were really learning.
Okay.
While I was refreshing for LeBron updates pretty much all week, he was telling us it was gas. All right. Well, good breakdown, both of you. Appreciate it. By the way, Brett, have you washed that Pulisic jersey?
Yes.
Okay.
But you got to get your, now, if not now, when?
No, it's true.
Every time that I see you, it's on a game day.
I know. You're right. It's a match day. Okay. Call it what it is. It's a match day.
So I'm trying to translate.
Seattle, the best spot literally in the country the match could be tonight, right?
Listen,
I mean, it really is.
Yeah, it's a great spot. One thing I'll say, I know we got to go to break, but I played the game all my life. The terminology stuff even annoys me. Don't call it a kit. We don't call it a kit here. That's stupid. call it a jersey.
Is this a Pierre's problem?
It might be.
Not a full problem or just a peeve?
Yeah. Downgraded to a peeve.
This is a peeve?
Yeah.
This is like a yellow card, not a full red?
Yeah.
Do you have any full reds for us later?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm sure I can come up with something.
Before you leave, I want to get at least one red card Pierre problem.
Yeah, we can come up with something, no problem.
And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more soccer, a little bit about LeBron, a little bit about how your life is going to change in ways that I cannot even wait for, having known you for almost a decade. He's Pierre Noujaim from Fox 9 Sports. More with him in the top of the hour.
Justin Guard in for Barreiro on the Fan.
From the 1-8